Alright, so we're back here working on the old hog. Made some pretty good progress so far. You know, put like the transmission back to the engine, bolted down the bell housing bolts. We got the flex plate torqued down to the torque converter. Um, got the starter on there. The wires aren't connected yet because, you know, we're still work in progress. But I'll kind of show you how far we are so far. So what I'm working on right now is I'm just getting the power steering pump and also the AC pump all hooked up, and then I'll have to get these wires all reconnected. But it is coming together quite nice. I mean, once everything's back on the engine, we'll be looking pretty good. But yeah, I'll give you a quick look under here. So that plate right there, put that skid plate back on. So that's one of the things we did. And then up under here, there's our starter. That bolt right there is worrying me a little bit, this one. There's not really any, I mean, it's surprising how little torque specs there are online for this kind of stuff. But then, you know, we torqued the bell housing to the engine. And that's pretty much where we're at right now.
One eternity later.
Got another update for you guys here. We have everything put back together that we can get put back together without actually putting like the fenders and the core support and all that stuff on. So I'm gonna just kind of gloss over this, show you what we've done so far. Okay, so quick update. Kind of rerouted the spark plug wires just so that none of them are touching the or the exhaust manifold. Got this secured back. All of this stuff's on. Hoses, vacuum lines, these things, you know, plugs, all of that. Got all that put back on. Where we're at as far as stuff that still needs done, I'm gonna go to the store real quick and get what I need, but there's a hose here that is now in that box, but it broke, and so I'm gonna go get the pieces that we need for that. Two vacuum lines. I accidentally broke this one, and it goes to here. Now, fortunately, some guy in a comment section somewhere said that what you can do is just get 3mm vacuum hose, and you can actually slip it over one end of this and over the other, and it will seal. So I'm going to do that for that one. This one was broken when I bought the truck. The little white one there. It's kind of flaky, kind of flaking apart, but I'm just going to put a 3mm on there and then attach the 3mm to that right there where it was originally. I'll have to go to a junkyard to grab this thingamajigger. It goes right here. Kind of looks like this, but just slightly different. But it's supposed to go there. Down here, this was a little tricky to figure out. This is probably one of the biggest pains. So you have the engine ground right here, and then this is like a stud that goes into the engine block, and then you pin the engine ground underneath the stud, and then there's this bracket right here that holds your transmission cooler lines, and then you gotta just barely get it in there just right, and then get the nut onto the stud there. Now that one I went back and forth a few times, but finally got it figured, and so now we're all set there. Got a bolt in this one, but this right here is really bent, so this is actually gonna go bye-bye because it's supposed to be against there. Kind of neat, but they upgraded, somebody at some point upgraded so that it has breather hoses, so if I wanted to put like a snorkel on this thing, I could. I'm not saying that I'd want to, but it's an option. More vacuum lines back here, fuel lines, these guys back here connected. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but super annoying. Let's see if I can get you back in here to see it. So you see that metal plate there? That metal plate
it holds the fuel lines. It's like a heat shield, but I had the transmission all bolted up with the bell housing bolts, but that metal plate is held on by the bell housing bolts, and the top two there are the hardest ones to do. So I had to unbolt them again just to get that stupid plate on there, and then rebolt them and then torque them down. And that was probably the funnest part of today. And then, of course, down in there, you got the starter, put the starter in, got the wires hooked up for the starter, all that good stuff. I mean, so far, that's where we're at. Don't necessarily need to do anything else at the moment. I'm just gonna go get those hoses to fix the vacuums and that little thing there. And then I'll be able to start putting like the fenders back on, and it'll come together nicely.
2,000 years later.
All right, so we're working on the Ford again. Starting to get kind of close to being done here. I'm gonna get the new headlights in, or out. I have that dealio right there that's got to go in, but I got to put the headlights, or at least a portion of the headlights, back in that before I can put it on that. Okay, so I just got to take all of the old lenses off of the frames and basically take those out, just swap in the new ones. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that, and then they should just bolt right up to the face of the truck.
So the truck's coming along slower than I was hoping, but I did finish getting the headlights installed yesterday, and so I'll give you guys a quick view of what the new headlights look like.